friends, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Patricia from Stitches by Pati, and this week I'm tired of market prep. I still could do market prep, but this week we are going to work on some new patterns. And the reason for this is I've had these patterns in my crochet book for such a long time, and I've been so focused on market prep, and like I've had a lot of ideas for videos, so I haven't been doing my pattern designing, and I miss it. So what really prompted me to do this video and to focus on pattern designing for this week is this guy over here. I have been wanting to make my bear plushie into a lovey. This was the first try. Obviously the legs I feel like are way too big. I'm just not obsessed with how this looks. He's cute like this, but like overall I just don't think the proportions were right, and I wasn't happy with this. So this was like what, 2-3 weeks ago, and then yesterday I made this little guy. So here's the size difference. It's insane. So this one is a lot smaller, but look at what I did, you guys. Why is his tail so far up his back? No. Anyways, I will be remaking him, but I really like the way he looks. The only thing that I want to change is the tail placement. So this is completely no-sew. Do I have ends sticking out? Yes, but if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know I always tuck in my ends after I'm done crocheting all the parts into the plushie. I don't know, it just makes me feel better. I feel like the parts are more secure, so like the ears will be tied together and whatnot. You can also tie them inside the plushie, which I recommend for a lot of people, but me personally, I just, you know, I'm just very specific, and that's how I do it. But we have a little bear that we're working on, and then I also yesterday started on my monkey. So it's going to be a similar size, or the body size is going to be the same, but the limbs and head are obviously different, but it'll be around this size, similar to my plushies. So that's what we're working on. I also have a guppy pattern that I want to write up. It'll be very similar to my betta fish pattern shape-wise, and then we have to obviously adjust the tail and all that good stuff, but I am super excited. I also drew up a few other things. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get to everything this week, probably not, but I do have a bunch of pattern ideas that I sketched out in my book, and I really want to make them. And my market is in about 2 weeks, so it's okay, we have time. But anyways, I am so happy with this one, and I can't wait to share with you guys how I design patterns. So I will see you guys very soon. Okay, so first of all, I am freezing, but I wanted to show you guys some of the designs that I drew up at the end of 2024. And one of the patterns I already did, but 2 of the patterns I don't think I'm gonna do honestly now. But anyways, here's what I drew up. I left this page blank so I can add some more sketches, although honestly I've just been sketching in the rest of the book. So we had a bunny bear that I don't think I'm gonna do. It's too close to Easter. Today's already April 8th, and I don't think realistically I'll have enough time to make it, but it's there. Maybe I'll do it for next year. I also had a bunny in here. The bunny, I'm like stuck on how I want it to look, so I decided I'm not going to be doing the bunny. I know, I'm so sorry. I had a lot of people reach out to me saying they wanted a bunny in a similar style of my bears, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna work out at this moment, because I want a specific head shape and like bunny ear shape, and it would be a lot different than what you usually see for bunny patterns. So that's why I'm deciding not to make it, because I honestly can't I just can't visualize the pattern in the way that I want it, so it's not happening. Marcel Senior has already been released, so you can get that pattern now. Marcel Senior is in the middle of the mama monkey, Melody the mama monkey, and baby Marcel, so this one is kind of in the middle. It's the size of my bear plushies. Then I have a ladybug bear. I think we are still going to do this one. I have a really cute vision for it, and I would like to do it, and it's a little easier to do because I already have a base for what I want to work with. And then over here at the bottom I have a koala again. I don't know, it was supposed to be part of my Hug Me collection, but the first time I did it I just got so discouraged with how it looked like, so I ended up not ever going back to it. I don't know what this bump in my hair is. I can't get it out, and it's really bothering me. So now let's just go through my book and see what other patterns I drew up, because I have a few. The next two patterns I have, okay, one of them I've been wanting to make for a while, and the other one I just thought up and I was like, wait, I should really do that. So anyways, first one on this page is a buffalo, Bert the buffalo. I really love this sketch, but you know what else? This is where the idea mainly came from. It came from this cow. This cow, I wanted to have a really big snout. And I'm excited to make that really big fat snout and then like a smaller head. I think it would look really cute, and I'm excited to do that one. Then I have Penelope the pig. This one is another one that I actually drew up last year in March, but I never got around to it, so I drew it out again, and that one was supposed to be part of my Hug Me collection. It just never happened, so it is what it is. And then I was looking for this sketch. I was like, where did I put it? Next to Petunia, we have a little guppy. Oh, Gilbert the guppy. That's what I wanted to name it. So yeah, similar vibe to my Bubbles betta fish, but this would be Gilbert guppy, and I really love this one. I think that's all the recent sketches that I've had done. I could probably go back into my notebook from last year and find some more things that I drew up, but we're gonna start with that. And I showed you guys already, I made the bear, so I should be able to type this up today or tomorrow, but the bear is basically done, so I'm leaving him as is. And now we are going to work on the monkey lovey, because I really like this body type. I love how these are constructed, and I love snugglers, loveys, so I wanted to make my own as well. The bear is done, and his name is going to be Theo, like Theodore, Teddy, Theo, Theodore, Teddy, you know? So it's gonna be Theo the teddy bear. And I haven't decided on the name for a monkey, so let me know if you have any suggestions. I already have Marcel and Melody, and then Marcel Senior, so I don't really want to use Marcel again. But yeah, let me know if you have any name suggestions for the monkey. But yeah, so I'm doing a challenge this week of seeing how many crochet patterns I can design, because they're just sitting in my notebook. So let's get started on the monkey. Actually, I'm going to show you guys what I have so far. I basically just have the legs. Okay, I lied. These are the arms. So the body is going to be essentially the same size as the bear, which is why I've been measuring it against the bear. So those are the little arms. Now I'm going to work on the legs. They're not going to be much different. I think I'm just going to make them a little longer so they're nice and floppy, and you know, they hang really cute. So, and then I will give you guys an update. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do the head and the ears. I think I don't know, we'll see when we get to it. Okay, I wanted to give you guys an update. I crocheted all the limbs. Well, really, I was just finishing the legs, but this is what it's looking like. So they're just a little bit longer than the arms, because I like the dangliness, and I think monkeys are the perfect way to display the dangliness. But I'm going to start working on the body now. The body and the head are really what changes for each plushie, so I'm going to do that. And I realized I also have to do the ears, so we'll do that. But yeah, I am very excited about these patterns. I love snugglers. I hope you guys love them too. And if you want to participate in any of my pattern tests, just make sure you follow me on Instagram, because that's where I post them. And yeah, maybe I'll start posting them next week when this video comes out. I probably will have them pre-tested, but we'll see how that goes. Right now I'm just focusing on designing them. Here's how the body looks when it's done. Isn't it just so darling and tiny? I love it. I'm gonna start on the head, because these patterns are no-sew, by the way. Both these lovey patterns are no-sew, so I have to start on the head and make some adjustments. But yeah, I'm super happy with how the body turned out. I think it's so adorable, and let me show you guys in comparison to the bear. So as you can see, the bodies are the same length. Actually, the monkey body is one round longer, but they're mostly the same length, and then the limbs are much longer. So all of my snugglers will be around this size. I think it's a really good size. It fits basically in the palm of your hand. I'm using Parfait Chunky, so if you were to use Bernat Blanket or Sweet Snuggles Light, it would come out a lot bigger. Hello friends, and happy Wednesday. You guys, I finished up the monkey yesterday. I don't think I showed you yesterday, but I do have a reason for that, and that is because Miso had her space surgery yesterday. So here she is, she's just chilling She was at work with me today, so she's a little tired from interacting with my coworkers, but we have 2 patterns down, Theo the teddy and something the monkey. Haven't decided yet. And then last night I also started working on Gilbert Guppy. I'm so unsure of how to do his top fin. The bottom fins are perfect because guppies have them like right under here, so that works great, and I really like the tail on it too. I feel like it's the closest I could get to a guppy using yarn. So there we go. That's the body. Again, like I said, it's similar to Bubbles Beta. There are differences. So now I just need to figure out how I want to do the top fin. And I brought over some colors because I love making these fish in skinny chenille or like a weight 4 yarn. So this one is from Lion brand. I think it's called Nap Time yarn or something. I also had a really pretty blue color, like a bright blue cyan color, but I don't know where it is, couldn't find it. And then I also have this one from Hobie Toucan 5. This is color number 18 and this is color number 14. I really want to make maybe a bright pink guppy with a purple tail or the other way around. And then I also want to make an all purple guppy, but that is to be determined because I'm not sure if I can figure out the top fin today. So yeah, we have 3 patterns basically done so far. And also I took the time to write out all the patterns that I have sketched out in my book and I put them on one list. I did not include the bunny or the koala on this list. So I also forgot, I don't know if you guys saw it on my page when I was showing you guys my sketches, but I also had written down a circus bear / a carnival bear. So yeah, I totally forgot that I put that there because I was just looking at the sketches. But we have the bear lovey, which is done, the monkey lovey, which is done. We have Gilbert Guppy, then we have a cow plushie. And if I'm doing the plushie, I might as well make a lovey version of it too, so I wrote that down. I have the buffalo on here, the ladybug bear, which that should be kind of easy. I have Penelope Pig on here. And then last on the list is the circus bear / the carnival bear, only because I feel like I want to sketch him out and have a better idea of how I want to make him, because literally I was at work and I jotted down carnival bear, but I didn't get a chance to sketch it out. So that's what we're working with. I don't know how I feel about the pig. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the pig in this video, honestly, because once again, same thing with the bunny. I don't really have a clear idea of how I want to do it. So to be determined, but for right now, while I still have some more energy, we are going to make orders, and here is what I have on the list. We have a sunflower for Lisa, and then Kim got a pink and purple caterpillar. I don't think this is in focus, but you know, it is what it is. And then she also got a little piggy. Okay. So we have those to make. And then Kimberly messaged me on Etsy and she said she wanted a candy bracelet. So here it is. Well, this is mine, but we're gonna match. So this is the candy one. It's a seed bead bracelet and the beads like shift. Color's really nice and I really love them. So I'm so excited to make one for Kimberly as well, and then we can match. By the way, this is what I have on my wrist today. We have this one. Don't mind this. Oh my god, you guys, I got these scrunchies. I think they're called gimme or something, and they're not like the typical scrunchie where it has like the rubber inside. It's just like fabric, and this is so much better for my hair and it feels so much better on my hair. But anyways, we have this bracelet, very neutral, and then on my other arm, let me just put this on so I don't lose one of my favorite bracelets. And then on this other side, I have a seed bead bracelet that I made in kind of like an ombre, so it goes from darker to lighter. I actually have to make my sister one of these too. I totally forgot, but I think I only have enough beads to make her bracelet, so yeah. And then I have my permanent bracelets, and also I wanted to wear this bracelet today because they match, but I totally forgot to put it on. So anyways, this would have been my bracelet stack had I remembered to put it on. And then on here I just had these two. I love wearing my beaded bracelets with my outfits. It makes me so happy. Anyways, I'm gonna get started on these orders. I'll check back in with you guys, and then we're going to continue on pattern designing. If you guys have questions about pattern designing, let me know down below. I'm back, and here is a little bracelet we made for Kimberly. Look, we're matching now. It is a little bit bigger because she has a slightly bigger wrist size than me, and she also wanted a loose fit, so that's what we did. Here's the little piggy stitch marker. I really love the colors of the beads with the pig. I think it's super cute. And then, okay, arguably these might be my favorite stitch markers because of the bead colors that go with them. And they are the sunflowers. I absolutely love all the rich neutral colors. They're so beautiful, especially this like espresso colored one. Gorgeous. And next we have a fun one. The caterpillar is fun. It has like little cute pink and purple colors. This cube is actually purple too. It's just very light and it reflects the light so beautifully. I don't know if it's gonna pick it up on camera, but it reflects a light green and it's very, oh there you go, it's very pretty. So now we're going to move on to making Gilbert the guppy and figuring out his his top fin. I already know this is gonna be the end of me, but maybe I'm overthinking it. I had two options yesterday. I scrapped both of them, didn't like them, so yeah, I don't know. We're going to attempt to make his top fin and then hopefully we can get this done today because I want to move on to the next pattern, which is the cow. So yeah, I'm thinking big snout and then smaller head. I think it's, I don't know why, this is the vision I have in my head. So anyways, my sketch, by the way, totally does not reflect what I'm thinking in my head, but you know, I had to draw it out to just have a better idea. Here's Gilbert the guppy in his not final phase. So let's get started on the little fin and then I don't know, hopefully I can get this done today. Also, he matches my sweater. You guys, I'm actually such a dummy because why did I just realize I had some more bracelets to make? You know why? Because it wasn't in my Etsy. So anyways, let me show you guys the beads I'm using. These are for my friend's kids. She has pink for her daughter, super pretty. And then we have blue for her son. This is the only way I can show you guys. Well, not the only way, but this is how I have to show you guys because I don't want the beads to spill. Anyways, I'm gonna make those really quick because I have time to send her order out, but since I'm already making orders for bracelets and things to do with beads, I might as well make these. So yeah, thankfully her kids' wrists are just a little bit smaller than mine, so I know that if it's relatively tight on me, it'll be perfect for them. Also, I like a loose fit. So anyways, point is, they're gonna be small bracelets for kids, but I'm so excited and I think they're going to look so cute. I love the mix of crystals and glass beads, especially because the glass beads are so sparkly. So yeah, let's get this done and then I'll show you guys. And if the lighting is like too dark, then we will revisit this in the morning so I can show you how beautiful they turn out. The sun hasn't set yet, so here are the bracelet. Aren't they so cute and adorable and tiny? I can't. So this is the pink. This is how it looks like. I really, really love it. And then this is the blue. I also really love it. Blue is my favorite color, but I've been really liking pink. Anyways, they're so cute. They barely fit on my wrist, like it's choking my wrist. So that means the sizing will be perfect. And then they have a little bit of room to grow. But yeah, how cute are they? I love them. They're little presents. Oh, so pretty. I have a happy update and here is the guppy. This is the best the fin is getting. I did want it to be kind of like more swoopy, but I just don't think it's really possible. So here is the guppy. I'm wondering if I should make it shorter, but I don't think so because guppies are long. I'm gonna insert a reference picture here. So yeah, I think this is how we're going to leave this pattern. This pattern will also be less expensive than my Bubbles Beta pattern because it's only one pattern. There are no variations for this one. And look. And look. I can't with them. Peanut's back here. Anyways, I was gonna make another one, but I think since I already have this one and I have to make some changes to the pattern, type things up, I'm not going to make another one until I do that. So we're going to move on to the cow. I know there are so many cow plushies and honestly I've never had a craving. I've never had the itch to make a cow, but now that I have this vision in my head with the big snout, I want to make it. But we are going to start with the legs and the body. I think the legs, I want them to be kind of like round with like a ridge around the outside. So let's see if I can figure out how to do that. But yeah, I have an idea in my head. I'm just not sure it's gonna work out. So that's what I'm gonna get started on next. I'm still watching Law & Order SVU. I'm on season 25, episode 9, so I don't think I have many episodes left. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to move on to another show, and thank you to Michelle who commented some new shows that I can watch on my last video. It's very appreciated because after this I'm gonna finish The Rookie, or like whatever episodes I haven't watched yet because I haven't in a while, and then we can move on to some new shows that she recommended. Without any more chatting, let me show you guys what colors I plan to use for the cap. Also, as a side note, my face feels so like bloated and swollen today, and it's because, or I'm pretty sure it's because yesterday I had a really tough night, really tough day too, with me still having surgery and everything. I am very attached to my dogs, and I don't have kids, right? But I treat my dogs like my kids. So if they're going under surgery, or if they have to go to the doctor to get shots, to get blood work, it's like I feel their pain. So yesterday I was really stressing out. I was like, what if something goes wrong with the surgery? You know, all those thoughts cross your head, even if you're not a mother, even if you don't have pets, like even like if you're concerned about your friend or whatever it is. So anyways, it was like a very emotional day for me yesterday. And Honey also had a vet appointment, which what's going on with Honey is not fully resolved. I do want to speak to a specialist. The vet told me I shouldn't be concerned, but I'm probably going to take her to a specialist just to give myself some peace of mind. Anyways, that was TMI. You guys didn't need to know all of that, but let's look at the colors I picked out for the cow. Okay, so we are going to make a white cow with dark brown spots. I'm going to make the hooves this lighter brown color. It's similar to the color Almond Butter from Parfait Chunky, but this is actually Hobie's Honey Bunny. This is Parfait Chunky Teddy Bear. This is Parfait Chunky White. And then this is Retro Velvet from Premiere also, actually. And we're going to use this for the snout. But right now I'm going to focus on the limbs. Or wait, or should I invert the colors and make these the spots? No, I'm going to stick to what I said. So I'm only going to be working with these colors for the moment, and then really the snout is the only thing that's going to be pink. I haven't even thought about the ears, you guys. Oh my god. But the horns are going to be this lighter color. Okay, let me look at my drawing so I can figure out how I want to do this. But yeah, hooves in this accent color, a lighter brown, and the spots will be brown. Okay, that is all. Let me try to focus. It's late. It's 8 o'clock already. Why am I starting to write a pattern at 8? I don't know, but I like to challenge myself. So that is why we are here today, and I'm gonna get going now. Talk to you guys soon. Hopefully I'll have an update today. If not, we'll just continue it tomorrow. Quick little update. I decided on a name for the cow. Her name's going to be Cornelia the cow, and I also did another really quick drawing. I think it's cute. Oh, look, that's me. Anyways. I think it looks really cute, so I'm gonna get started on the limbs. Final update for tonight. I finished both the arm and leg design, so they look very similar, and they are actually very similar in size, just a small difference. As you guys can see, the arms are obviously smaller and slimmer, so shorter and slimmer, and then the legs are thicker and wider. I did something different this time. I did back post single crochet. I usually don't do that. I had to look up a video because every time I do back post single crochet, it's so hard for me. And I was telling my friend Addison, I'm like, I feel like when I'm doing that, when I try to do it, I think of crochet as 2-dimensional instead of 3-dimensional, and that kind of helped me like solidify that idea in my brain of how to do a back post single crochet. Jesus, I am tired. Anyways, so that's where I'm stopping for tonight because it's late. It's already past 9 and I had a long night last night. We're going to stop here and then we'll finish up tomorrow, or hopefully finish up tomorrow. But I'm very happy with what we got done today. We got orders done, we got the guppy done, and we started on the cow. So yeah, I'm very excited about all these new patterns, and it was a good night, a good productive night. Happy Thursday, friends. If you hear barking in the back, I am so sorry. Honey is playing security guard, and I think there's a cat outside and she's going a little crazy. But since we are on the topic of pattern designing, I actually asked you guys to submit any questions you have about pattern designing, and then I'll answer them throughout the video. And I think the most common question, which is already a question I was asked, is how do you start with pattern designing? Honestly, the first thing you should do is just sketch out your idea. Okay, it's as simple as that. Sketch out your idea, make notes on where you want like the curve of the body to be. And I'm not saying, okay, in round 4, I want it to curve. No, I'm just saying, like, where on the plushie physically, where do you want there to be a curve? Do you want there to be a curve in the arm so it looks like a little ball at the arm? Or do you want your ears to be a specific way? Do you want them pointy? Do you want them more rounded? That kind of thing. And that will help you when you are writing your pattern. So I always do that. It's very helpful for me. And after that, you have to figure out how to make stitches work for you, how to make single crochets, decreases, increases work for you and your plushie. Typically in amigurumi, you start off with a magic ring or you start off with a chain. I think for beginners, it's easier to start off with a magic ring because it's a lot more common than starting off with a chain. And then, you know, you have to think, you have to choose a multiple. So if you want to do like multiples of 5s or 6s, whatever the case is, it's easiest to start with a project that is round because you can make gradual increases and decreases, and it's just very simple. Also, before you start pattern writing, I feel like you need to work through a bunch of patterns. And honestly, if you're thinking about pattern designing, I'm sure you already have been crocheting for a bit, so you're familiar with the structure of a pattern and how it works. When you're making patterns, make sure you pay attention to how the designer adds increases and decreases to make the shape. Obviously, you put in increases to make things wider and decreases to make things more narrow. So using the idea that you have, put increases in and decreases in that make sense to the shaping of your project. When you put a bunch of decreases right next to each other, obviously there's going to be a dip. If you put a bunch of increases next to each other, there's going to be a little bump. So really, you have to decide of where you want things to be bigger and smaller. Make sure you know what stitches do. Single increases maintain the circumference or the length of the project. Decreases make things smaller, increases make things bigger. So you have to keep that in mind. And when I said work in multiples, it's because usually you have increase times 6, single crochet increase times 6. So it goes from 12 to 18 and so on. So I feel like, yeah, that is just the most basic thing. The first step is having an idea. The second step is figuring out how you can make stitches work for you. And when it comes to actual pattern writing, you can of course reference other designers' patterns to see what they include. Like, do they include an abbreviations list? Do they include a materials list? How do they set up the patterns? Do they have one page per body part or animal part or whatever the case is? Do they format it where they have the head here, the tail here, or whatever the case is? I feel like that's something that will individually come to you as well. You will figure out what you like crocheting first. For me, a lot of the time, I like crocheting limbs first. So that is typically what is first in my pattern, or I'll make the head first if it has to be sewn on. So you'll see how you want to lay it out based on your preference of how you like to make patterns, of how you like to make plushies in general. Because a lot of times, before I did no-sew patterns and before I learned about no-sew patterns, people would have like the body first, then the head, then all the small parts. And I didn't like that. I used to always go to the end of the pattern, start from the small parts, and then work my way up to the big parts. So like I said, as a designer, you get to decide which information you want to put first or where you want to put information. And I always say, when you look at other designers or creators' items, look at it for inspiration, but do not copy. So if you're looking on how to write a pattern, you're not just going to take a designer's pattern as a template and then delete everything and put in your own things. No. You will figure out what works for you. Usually you have like a starting page, like an introduction kind of thing, and then you go into the pattern. But I would never suggest for you guys to just copy and paste someone's pattern template and use that. Some creators, I'm sure, are okay with that, but to be on the safer side, don't do that. Just see what's included in a pattern and how you would like to organize that information. So that's when it comes to pattern writing. And also when writing patterns, I think it is so important to have pictures, clear pictures, because pictures, I feel, speak a lot more on what you're doing than your actual written instructions. And that is specific to attaching things or placement of things. When I started, I did not know what it meant to add eyes in round 4 between what X stitches apart. You know what I'm saying? Pictures were always so helpful to me because I would just mimic what was in the picture. Also, sometimes when you have a different technique, I'm working on a different technique actually with my snugglers to make them a no-sew. So the head is attached and it's not wobbly. So that is a new technique that I'm doing, and while I know what I'm doing and I know exactly how to do it, I need to find a way to communicate that. So in addition to me writing out the instructions, which I think are clear, I also make sure to include a picture for that step, because as a designer and a crocheter, I know it's not a technique that's always very widely used. So I will make sure to add pictures along with an explanation to give the pattern maker as much information as they can have in order to make the plushie the way it's written. That being said, most of my patterns are for advanced beginners or intermediate crocheters, so they do not have everything written out. They do not have written out how to make a single crochet or how to do a bobble. If it's a specialty stitch like a treble bobble, I will put that in. But I feel like bobble, single crochet, increase, decrease, those are stitches that I do not explain in my pattern. I do not go into depth on how to attach a limb in the round. I have photos and I have instructions, but there's not an explanation of make sure you place it this way, etc., etc. If you are making something targeted towards beginners, that is information that you'd want to include. And I have to say, All From Jade does a really great job at including so much information for beginners, but it's also not in the way of the actual pattern. So she'll have stuff at the beginning of her pattern with some friendly tips, and then throughout the pattern it's just straight. The pattern is what it is, but she also includes that information if you are a beginner and you need a little bit more guidance on how to make certain things in the pattern, or just some good to know things that maybe you don't know if you haven't been crocheting for a long time. So I think that's about it for right now. As I get more questions, I will answer more. But we're going to continue working on the cow today, and I'll give you guys an update as to how that's going. I got the arm and the leg down, so obviously I need to make doubles of those. But yeah, I'm glad I got that done yesterday, so today I don't have to worry about the arms and the legs. I can continue on to the body and head. As I'm crocheting, I realized I forgot to mention one of the most important things about pattern designing, and that's math. Okay, I totally forgot. Math is a very important part of crocheting, and this has to do with the pattern aspect of a pattern, meaning there is a set of things that you're doing in the pattern to have repetition to make it a pattern, and you need to know increases take up 1 stitch space, but they count as 2, while decreases take up 2 stitch spaces, but they count as 1 because you're taking 2 stitches and making them into a single stitch. So I feel like, I don't know why that didn't go through my head before, but that is a very important part of pattern designing. If you have a round with 6 stitches and you add in 3 increases, your round count will go from 6 to 9 because you're adding in those 3 to the previous 6. Same way if you had 6 and you put in 3 decreases, your pattern will go from 6 to 3. So that is also something super, super important that I don't know why I didn't mention, but that is a very basic part of pattern designing. Something that I feel like is very helpful for pattern designing is actually doing pattern tests, because you see how people write their patterns, where they put increases, and how that affects the shape of the plushie. So definitely pattern testing, because it also helps you spot mistakes. So the first step of kind of pattern designing is to, get into crocheting, figure out what you see that happens over and over again in a pattern. And once you're aware of that and you can point out mistakes, that's when you start doing pattern testing and you kind of work through other people's patterns, see if you can point out where there were mistakes or errors made, whether that's grammar, spelling, mathematical error, anything like that. Because once you do that, I feel like you will be able to better proofread your patterns and you kind of get a sense of what's going on in the pattern. I'm not saying you necessarily always have to pattern test, but it is a fun way to learn more about pattern design and seeing how people do their own thing, how they set up a shape. I just wanted to include that because I totally forgot about the math part, and pattern designing has a lot of layers to it. You need to be able to actually crochet. You need to figure out how the math works in a crochet pattern. You have to be able to spot errors or omissions in your own pattern, and I feel like definitely being part of the crochet community and pattern testing is a super great way to figure out how to design your own patterns, because you also hear it from other people too, from other testers in the chat or from testers in the comments of a Canva document, things that are unclear. Okay, I just wanted to add that tidbit. Let's move on. Guess what? Look what I got done. I got the body done. This is how it looks from the back. I think I'm going to make the tail just a little, actually, I was gonna say I'm gonna make the tail a little longer, but I think it's good like this. Anyways, this is the lovey version of the pattern. Also, I hate color changing when I do have double crochets because they just come out super sloppy. And what I do is I kind of take my nail and like move the stitch over and it fixes it. Mostly, I'm not gonna say entirely, but mostly it gets fixed. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, the hardest part is the head, which I'm gonna do now because I wanted to have a super big snout. Not super big, but I wanted to have a big snout. So we're gonna see how I can execute that, which brings me to the next question. Do I ever get frustrated with pattern making? Yes, all the time. All the time, especially when I'm starting like at the front of the head and moving towards the back. It gives me a lot of issues. I think the monkey was the easiest one to do after I did the initial Mama Melody monkey. After that, it was much easier, like with Marcel. He was relatively easy to do, but I remember I struggled so much with my bear. I also did struggle with the monkeys, especially the little one, Marcel, baby Marcel. I struggled with him a lot. So I do get frustrated with pattern writing a lot of the time in that instance. When it comes to body and limbs, not really. And like smaller parts like ears and horns and whatnot, that doesn't frustrate me. But the head, yes, that gets frustrating, and I would say that is not my strong suit. That's definitely something that I need to work on. And so short answer, yes, I do get frustrated with pattern testing. So the short answer is yes, I do get frustrated and overwhelmed when I'm writing patterns. And the next question was, where do I get my ideas from? My ideas, I'm honestly not sure. Sometimes I see a really cute animal, like the other day I saw like a feed of my guppies pop up, which is why I made that pattern, why I sketched it, because I was like, that would be cute. And it was like also when I was looking for pictures of betas and a guppy picture pops up and I was like, oh my god, that would be so cute. I was originally actually going to do a 2-in-1 pattern with the beta and the guppy, but because I did modifications to my beta, I was like, let me do the guppy separately. But yeah, so sometimes when I'm searching for animals for something completely different, I'll find an animal that I really like. I mainly make animals. I don't know why. I did make food patterns before. It's just I don't necessarily want to bring food items to my markets. I'd rather make animals and stuff. I think that's just my inner child. I like making animals because I loved collecting stuffed animals when I was a kid. Where else? Sometimes I want to do a specific theme, like the fairy bear. I was like, how cute would it be if the fairy bear was dressed up? And this was back when I first made my original pattern, Honey the Fairy Bear, with the wings, with the little flowers. I don't know, I just really liked it, and I was like, I want to make a bear version of that, like a little fairy, you know? But sometimes I get a vision, I'm like, oh my god, what if I made this? Which is when I sketch things out. I usually don't say, I want to make a pig, so let me make one. No, it usually doesn't happen. I usually have an idea of what I want something to look like, and then I sketch it out. So that's a kind of weird answer, but honestly, that's the best I can do. So the next question is, what's the hardest part about designing? Honestly, just figuring out the shape sometimes. Figuring out the shape, like I said, of the head is difficult for me anyways, but I think that's the hardest part is just like executing what you have in your head into a physical form, because sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. You're not using the proper technique, or how you thought it would work up, it doesn't, and there's trial and error, especially when you first start designing and you're learning your own style and how to make stitches work for you. I feel like that's frustrating when you have to keep starting over. It's not matching what you wanted to put out. I think that's the hardest part, because you are your harshest critic, and when something isn't coming out how you want it, it's very, very frustrating, and it makes you want to give up sometimes. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay to give up and you come back to it later. I have Cora the koala and her baby Corey for my mama, for my Hug Me collection. I have never went back to that pattern yet. I do want to go back to that pattern, but right now I feel overwhelmed and I don't want to even look at what I had written before. So I think that is the hardest part. You're very harsh on yourself and you want it to be perfect, obviously, because you have a vision in your head and you want to execute it. I don't personally struggle with this as much anymore, but I know some of my friends are always concerned, what if someone has a pattern that looks just like this? What if someone thinks I'm copying them? And to be honest, you can do a lot of research on Instagram, on Google, Ribbler, Etsy, where else, Ravelry, but sometimes you just can't. You can't read everything out, and there have been instances where I know for a fact that someone copied my pattern, and there also have been instances where we weren't aware of each other and we did something very similar. So my squid pattern was actually like that. Someone commented on the other designer's page and they tagged me and were like, oh, this looks just like yours. And it was a free pattern. The other designer messaged me with her concerns and I was like, hey, no problem. Like, I know it looks similar. I read through your pattern. It's mine is smaller. It's constructed in a different way. And she asked, did she ask to see it? I don't think she asked to see my pattern, but after I explained to her basically how my squid is constructed, she's like, okay, totally fine. Thank you for letting me know. Whatever. Even if you do your due diligence, you can't always find everything. So I say go ahead, design the pattern. If someone happens to have something super similar, talk it out, talk to them. I mean, there's a lot of ways to make a cow. There's a lot of ways to make a panda, whatever the case is. Unless you knowingly copied someone's idea or copied a listing or took very heavy inspiration from a pattern you saw and you just wanted to recreate it as your own, you're okay. It'll be all right. It's really not fair when your intellectual property is stolen, but we do have to keep in mind there are so many patterns out there. There's so much knowledge out there. It's really hard to be super unique and there's nothing like it anywhere. So just be mindful of that. Have grace for yourself, have grace for other designers, because we all want to do well. We all want to succeed. We all want to make really cute plushies, and there's bound to be repetition because of the surplus of designers and crocheters in the community, and that's totally okay. So yeah, those are my 2 cents. I'm going to try and design the cow head. We'll see how it goes, and I'm also kind of procrastinating doing that, so let me just get to it. Happy Friday, friends. It's the morning and I wanted to show you guys what I got accomplished yesterday because it got late really quick. By the way, this is my basket of patterns that we made this week, but I did finish the cow, but I made some mistakes and I'll tell you guys that in a little bit. Here is the cow itself. As you can see, the head is abnormally large, or it's like larger than my bear and monkey, and I want to fix that. Here's the comparison. As you can see, it's much bigger, which it would have been okay if the body was bigger, but you guys know what else I did? First of all, I'm going to change the way the ears are attached because I don't like how floppy they are. I do like the horns. I want to make the head smaller, so we'll probably do less pink area, and we're also going to shrink down the head size. And you guys know what else? I originally, when I started writing up the legs and the arms, they were meant for a plushie and not for the lovey version. So these are all single crochets. They're supposed to be half double crochets, or like a mix of single crochets and half double crochets. So yeah, that's on me. I messed up, but listen, at least I got the lovey body done. I know what I want to do with it. I think I'm going to make the tail a few chains longer, but the arms and legs are perfect. Now I just have to do the lovey version. The body I have to make for a plushie. So I did like half of each pattern. The head will be the same for both the plushie and the lovey because I like that size, but this needs to shrink down because it's too big. I mean, it looks cute either way. I mean, I'm happy with it. It's not like it's a bad product. It's just I messed up. So here's Cornelia the cow. She's very cute, but She does need some work done on her, so we'll probably do that later tonight. Isn't she so cute? And I think I'm going to do something similar for the buffalo as well, like this type of snout design. I think it'll work well for the buffalo as well. But that is all for right now. I will see you guys after work. Hey friends, I'm back from work. I also found this really pretty rose color in my closet, and we're going to use this instead of the other pink that I was using. I think that was actually Premier Retro Velvet that I was using. So we're going to use Parfait Chunky because why not make the pattern cohesive? We're going to redo the head, but if I'm redoing the head, I also have to redo all the limbs and the body and all that stuff. That's the downside of having a no-sew pattern. You have to remake everything in order to make the last thing. But that's okay, because like I said, I messed up the body and limb situation. The limbs were for my plushie and the body was for a snuggler. So we're going to remake the limbs for the plushie. I'm going to make the plushie body because I didn't design that yet. And then we're going to design limbs for the lovey, and I'll make the body, but that I already have written out. So yeah, before we get to the heads, we're gonna remake all the bodies and limbs. And I have decided to use this pink color instead because it's more muted and I like it better. And so yeah, but as a side note, I also don't want to use the other pink because I don't think I'll have enough for both snouts. And I don't have any pink that's close to it, so I need to make a Premier Yarns order, mainly for pink. I have to look in my closet if I need anything else. Honestly, I probably don't, but I think Premier's shipping is like $8 now if you don't meet the minimum, which sucks, but I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and get pink because I've been using a lot of pink lately, which I usually don't use pink that often. I have like bubblegum, the bubblegum pink color, but I don't like, I feel like that's too bright for what I'm doing, so we will not be using that color. Oh, also, Miso has a pink bodysuit now. She, I know like some vets recommend to do the cone thing after the space surgery after neutering, but she hasn't been trying to lick her wound at all. So anyways, I have her in jammies, and also she couldn't like eat or drink with her cone on, and I wasn't gonna like take it on and off anytime she needed to eat or drink. So we're sticking to jammies. She's very cute. I love the pink on her. I also got her a gray one, but I got that one in a size medium because I wasn't sure. The review said they run really small. So I got a small and medium. The small is good for her. The medium's too big. So we're going to return the medium and we're going to get a small in gray. Also, I got another question on my Instagram, and the question was, what do you use for pattern designing? Like what platform? I use Canva. I love Canva. I love that you can just drag and drop things wherever you want. I used to use Google Docs all the time, but the problem with Google Docs is the same as Microsoft, Microsoft Word. Anytime you want to drag and drop something, it messes up the whole format, and then I would have had to like do the wrap text option, and sometimes still it didn't work out. And then I also like that I can add so many images in Canva. You can search images on there. I have Canva Pro. I do pay for the subscription. It's very helpful. There's also so many different fonts. You can upload your own font. I'm sure you can do it in Word or Google Drive, Google Docs too, but I figured out how to do it on Canva, so I did, but I don't use it because I didn't put it into the right dimensions and whatnot. It wasn't working out. So long story short, I use Canva and I love it. So highly recommend. You can also do a free version of Canva. There's really not that big of a difference besides the fact that certain stickers, certain fonts aren't available, but other than that, just for your basic needs, it's fine. You can still find clip art, you can still use different fonts, you can use the interface as is. There's just some items that are uploaded in there that you cannot use. Canva for the win. I love it. A lot of designers that I pattern test for, all my friends use it. So definitely recommend Canva. Or I'm thinking PowerPoint is similar because you can also drag and drop things, but then you have to download all the images that you want to put into PowerPoint, which is why I like Canva, because they have their own database of images and you can put those in. So yeah, that is all. Let's get started on these cows. Hello, I have Peanut on top of me because where else would he be? Oh, he took that personally. Anyways, I finished the plushie body, right? Cute, it's not stuffed. Oh, it seems like it's stuffed because of all the tails in here, but I didn't stuff it yet. I'm actually going to move on to the lovey arms and legs because like I said, I need to do that. And then maybe we'll start working on the head. But I think that's going to be the last update for tonight. I'll tell you guys tomorrow how everything goes because I feel like I just really need to focus right now. And yeah, I will get back to you in the morning. Happy Saturday. Good morning. I have some updates to share. So you guys have seen the original snuggler that I made. Snuggler plushie, because what was going through my head, I don't know. Anyways, there's that one. I was making the legs yesterday for the lovey, and I had this as the first try, and obviously compared to what I already had, it just looked disproportionate. Like the hoof was too small because of the half double crochets. So I ended up changing, I think this was the arm. Yeah, this was the arm. I ended up changing it so it's not as long, and also I made the white, like the base or like the length of the arm smaller. That way the half double crochets looked normal. And also, if you see, the new cow lovey has more spots and bigger spots on the body. We're not going to talk about my color changes, okay? We're not going to talk about it. Here's the difference in the spots. I just basically made them larger, and I didn't get to the head yesterday. This is going in the trash, but I wanted to show you guys because it's a trial and error with writing patterns. But I have a bunch of things to do this morning. It's actually 8:48 right now. I'm about to leave the house. But when I get home later, we're going to keep working on the head. And then I think I'm going to make the buffalo, right? Because since I'm already doing the cow, the buffalo isn't going to be like significantly different with the head. I mean, yeah, there will be differences. But once I get the head shape down, I would like to also get the head shape down for the buffalo, because at least I'll be in that mindset of how the head shape is working up. So that's what I'm planning to do today. And I'm not sure if we're gonna get to the pig or the bears. Honestly, I don't think we're gonna get to the pig or the bears because today's already Saturday. I'm basically going to have half a day of crochet today, and Sunday I'm not sure what tomorrow's gonna bring. So we'll figure it out. But what I'm saying is I don't think I'll have enough time to crank out 3 more patterns. So we'll just stay with these 4 or 5 with the buffalo if it comes out. Well, 5 and 6 with the buffalo, because I will make a lovey version of it as well. And I would also like to make some variations of the cow. I would like to maybe have a Highland cow. I know like everybody does that when they make a cow pattern. They also have a Highland mod. I don't know, it's something to think about. I'm not sure. And they also do longhorn cows a lot as well. I don't think I'm gonna do the longhorn cow, but a little Highland cow would be cute. Maybe it'll just be a mod to add some hairs at the front of the head and not like a full different pattern. It's just a small accent that we are adding. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, because it wouldn't make sense to market them as 2 separate patterns, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna make a little minor change, and you guys can have a modification to make it a Highland cow if you would like to. I'm going to add it into both the plushie and the lovey version if I do end up doing it. And yeah, I have an idea of how I want to do it too, so I'm excited. I ended up at Michael's, guys. We're going to do a project, not this week, not in this video, but I got some little plant pods and some extra beads. And then I also got some little foam balls, and we're going to make little beaded plants. I saw it on TikTok. Me and my friend Ariana were texting about it, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. But while I'm at Michael's, of course, I had to look at the yarn, and look what they have. They have the new Bernat patchwork skeins of yarn. They're variegated. Well, not really. They're like striped yarn. That's what it looks like. And I don't know if I missed it when I was at Michael's. I haven't been in quite a bit, but I haven't seen this before, and it's pretty cool. There's a really pretty neutral shade I'm going to show you guys right now. Look at how pretty this one is. Let me tell you guys the color of this one. Coffee bar. That's so pretty. That's how the blanket would look. I love it. If I had something to make with it, I would totally get it, but I just don't. Anyways, I'm just looking around at what they have. I really don't need any yarn, but I did want to order ballet pink from Premier Parfait Chunky because I just don't have any of it, and I've been using up quite a bit of it. They also have the new speckled yarn here, but I don't really like the texture of it that much. They have a lot of petite pearl, and there's a color that I really like. I'm gonna show you. It's like a raspberry pink. This is in the color mauve, but look how pretty. I love it. It's Wait For yarn, and you guys know I love Wait For yarn. Also, they have a Burnout Blanket Mystical. I haven't been at Michael's since this was released, so I'm happy to see that they have it in store, but I won't be getting any. It's time for a haul. The dogs are always interested in what I have in bags, so let me tell you. I ran a bunch of errands with my mom and brother, like I said earlier, and we had to pick up some things. My mom wanted to go to Sephora. I was like, yeah, girl, let's go. Anyways, I restocked on my favorite dry shampoo, and they happened to have like the duo with the big one and the travel one, and it was $35, which for comparison, the big one is usually $30, the mini one is $15. So $46. And then I saw these deodorants. I haven't really heard of them. I feel like I've heard of the brand before, but they smelled so good. They smell like perfume. The first one that I got is Black Rose and Oud. I love the smell of oud in perfumes. It smells so delicious. And I have a perfume also in Rose and Oud, so I really liked this one. I don't know how they're going to wear. I'm not sure if this is like a clean brand or anything like that. I usually use like an aluminum deodorant. Actually, I think that one's aluminum free. Anyways, I usually use a gel deodorant, and I don't think these are gel. These are like the regular kind of deodorant. And then the other one that I got is Santal and Vetiver, and this one also smells good. It's kind of like sandalwoody. I don't know, it reminds me of a smell. It kind of smells like a hotel lobby, like a really nice one, you know? Oh, it's so good. It's a very distinct smell that reminds me of my Jersey City markets and the building that I go into, like, to get my parking ticket verified. That's very specific, but that's what it smells like to me. Miso's trying to get the little balls that I got. She always is trying to get into things she shouldn't be getting into. Then I showed you guys, I got these little mini pots, and then these are the kinds of beads I got. They're like clear green and also a really pretty sparkly green. I have other green beads, but I was just like, let me get a few extra so that way I'm not too short when it comes to making stitch markers. And then, you guys, I ended up buying yarn, but I only bought one skein, and this is the Karen Cinnamon Swirl Cakes in the color Chocolate Swirl. And I bought the pattern from JB Baby Designs. That's for like a shirt. It's really cute, and I'm planning to make that during my flight. I have two trips coming up, so 4 flights, and that's probably what I'll be working on. I really want to make myself the shirt, so I got this one. I feel like it's a really pretty colorway. I do also have like a light blue grayish Karen cake. It's not a cinnamon swirl cake, but it's a different texture. And honestly, I was talking to my mom in the store. I'm like, oh, should I get it? Like, I have a blue one at home that I can use. And then I just decided I'm going to get this anyways, because I feel like I'm more likely to wear this kind of color than the blue. And if I finish the pattern relatively quick with this one, I'm going to make another shirt. So it's a really cute long sleeve shirt. I will put up a picture over here so you guys can see. But yeah, that was my little break from crocheting. I also picked up my medicine, and I'm really excited to try out these deodorants. They smell absolutely divine. I love them so much. I think we're gonna do like a cozy hobby vlog in the future where we just do all types of like cute crafty things, because I also have this snail kit that I got for my birthday a while ago, and I never got the chance to make it. And that one's really cute. It's made with clay, and then you put like a little globe with glitters and stuff on top as the shell. I don't know, I really liked it, and I just never got a chance to make it. And then I also bought from Etsy this little felt and bead sequin like embroidery thing, and it turns into a little pin, and it's a shrimp. So I also really want to make that, and I think after all my markets are done, we'll do a cute little video like that. I think it'll be fun. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to designing my patterns. This is what I have done. Like I told you guys in the morning, I'm gonna work on the head now, and then hopefully I have this pattern written up, and we'll move on to the buffalo. I think we have a winner. Here's how I changed it. I'm not really obsessed with the side view, but once I stuff it, I'm sure I'll like it better, because right now there's no stuffing in it. I'm not sure if I'm going to redo it again. I don't know, but I would say it's a big improvement from this one. Also, I used a different pink for this one. But you see, this head is not stuffed, so it looks kind of like really tiny compared to this one. But you see how the ears are super floppy here? They're not as floppy here. I fixed it. I kind of really like this big head though. Maybe for a different plushie. But here's the cow. I'm thinking I kind of want the head just a little bit bigger. I feel like it's too realistic looking, and I wanted it to be like more rounded and kawaii. We'll see. I still have the plushie head to do, which is the same thing. So we're gonna see how it's going to look on the plushie body. And then I'll make adjustments if I need to, because I don't mind if it's a little bigger on the lovey, but I need it to be proportionate to the body. So anyways, I'm gonna start on a new head for the other cow, and I know my ends probably are giving some of you guys anxiety. So I usually tell everyone just tuck the tails in, which honestly is what I should do, but you guys know I'm extra, like they're fine and secure when you tuck them inside and tie them off, but I'm just extra and I like to give a couple stitches on the outside and then tuck them in and tie them together. So anyways, she's so cute. I love the floppy limbs. Same with the bear. This is my favorite thing ever. I love floppy limbs. So here's my little collection of loveys so far. Oh my goodness, I am so sad. Guess what? I just realized 911 Lone Star is not getting renewed for any new seasons, and I just finished watching the last one, and it makes me so sad. But that being said, it did have a good ending. Okay, I'll say, like, at least there were no like open ends. But I'm here to show you guys the cow lovey. Here's the plush. Here's the lovey. So cute. So really, it just depends on what you would rather do. Would you rather make a plushie? Would you rather make a lovey? They are different patterns except for the head, but other than that, they are completely different. They're so cute. So here we have these two cows, and here's what we had started with. Yeah, the head was huge on this one. And also, I made the tails longer on these than on this one. I felt like this was too short. So yeah, my little disproportionate cow. Oh man, I'm done crocheting for the night. It's 7:30 and I'm just absolutely exhausted. And you guys, I went from having one lovey pattern, which is Tula the Tulip, which I don't even want to count as a lovey pattern, to be honest with you, to 3 new lovey patterns. Ah, how crazy. And I did this all in 4 days. No, well, 5 days. I started Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. In 5 days. I can't believe I did it. I made 3 patterns. That is crazy. 3 lovey patterns, because the guppy, that one was pretty quick to make. So I'm still not sure about the fin. You guys know, I'm still not sure about the fin. I feel like it looks like a shark fin. Should I make a shark pattern? I don't know, but I kind of do want to remake my clownfish pattern to be more no-sew, or like more low-sew, because I don't think it could be it could be no-sew, it could, but it would compromise the look of it a little bit. So we'll see about that. But 4 patterns. I'm really impressed with the loveys, I have to say. Oh, well, technically 5 patterns, because I also made the plushie, and this one is a different pattern. Like, the round count is different, the stitches are different, whatever, you get the point. So yep, here we go. What should we do tomorrow? Should we make the buffalo tomorrow? Should we make the pig tomorrow? Should I do both? I don't know, but I'm done crocheting for the night. And also, I bought this big, like, it's like a laundry hamper. It's a big basket that is meant to be used as a laundry hamper. I bought it to put in that corner of my living room where I have those boxes right now. And those boxes right now all have yarn. I have a few gifts in there that I really need to send out, and I also have like storage boxes for my little market display thing, but we're gonna put all of those in the hamper. Should I do it with you guys? I'm kind of tired, but I guess I'll just do it with you guys because I'm gonna be doing it anyways. Okay, as I'm cleaning out that corner, I just wanted to share When I was in school, I used to get a bunch of my books from thriftbooks.com, and I got this book. This is part of the Dreamland Billionaire series from Lauren Asher. This is the last book in the series. I haven't read it yet. Oh, and it actually is the last book. But my point of this is, if you guys like to read but you don't want to pay full price for books, check out thriftbooks.com. I think I got this for $8 and it is originally $18. So perfect, because honestly I'm gonna read it once and then I'll put it on my shelf. So if you guys like to read, check out thriftbooks.com, and let's get through this stuff. So basically I had some gifts in there that were meant to be for Christmas, but I haven't been able to see my friend, so I'm just gonna mail those to her. And she, you know what, she lives like 45 minutes away from me. We should probably like find the time to meet, but our schedules are kind of opposite. So anyways, that's what's in there. There's no yarn in that first little box. That one is all yarn, and that one is the containers, and that right there is the hamper. So let's open it. I got it from Amazon. If you guys want, I will link it. Just let me know. I don't even honestly know how big this is. I just kind of looked at it and I was like, okay, that'll be cute. So if it's not good, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Actually, I know what I'll do. I'll switch out my actual laundry hamper to put here, and this one will go in my room. Watch this be so small. It is so small. Okay, it's not that small. I was being dramatic. There we go. This is what it looks like. We're gonna put all the yarn in here. Oh, there is one yarn. Well, actually, you know what? That's gonna go in my closet. I think I made space for it. This is mainly yarn I got from Addison, and some yarn that just no longer fit in my closet. We have Chenille Home Slim in this really pretty purple. Brushed Velvet from Bernat. Sweet Snuggles Light in purple. Oh no. Okay, this is gonna go to my dad so he can untangle it for me. Chenille Home Slim in this really pretty multicolored color. Chenille Basics from Premier. Yellow. Ooh, this really pretty, I think this color is called Almond or Mushroom. I think this is from Bernat. Baby Blanket or Baby Velvet from Bernat. The blue version of the dark green I was using. We have some Hobby Lobby yarn in this really pretty pumpkin color. I'm saving this for fall. We have Baby Velvet in pink. We have the color Pomegranate, I think. And we also have Bernat Velvet in black. So that is basically it. We're gonna add some of my Premier Chenille Basics in here because I currently have them in my blanket closet. Also, I never use those USPS boxes, so I may just return them to the post office and be like, enjoy, I don't need them. So anyways, now this basket is going to go here, and it'll look a lot better than just a pile of boxes that was here. This is dog food, by the way. I need to open that. Okay, now we're gonna be done. Beautiful. This is actually kind of heavy, and I really hope it unbends because it looks like a square right now. Okay, anyways, we're done with that. Yay to 5-minute projects. Happy Sunday, friends. It is currently 12:30 p.m. and I already have done a bunch of errands today. So basically, I took Peanut with me for errands because, one, I took Peanut because I've been taking Miso with me every day to work, and I didn't take Honey because she gets very stressed out. She has anxiety. So I didn't want her to be around a bunch of people and, like, you know, get stressed out. So anyways, Peanut was my little buddy for the day, and we went to Petco. We went to stop by my parents. We did Target pickup. We did an Amazon return. And now I have been sitting editing my cow lovey pattern, Cornelia. Actually, okay, so I wanted to tell you guys because I don't want anyone to get confused when the patterns come out. All of my snuggler patterns will say cuddly blank blank, like cuddly cow Cornelia, cuddly Theo bear, or something like that. But it'll have the word cuddly in it, and that's how you know it's a snuggler. It'll also say it on the pattern and on the listing, but I just wanted to give you guys that little detail. All of my snuggler patterns will have cuddly in the name, like cuddly cow Cornelia. So anyways, I finished setting up that pattern on Canva, which I told you guys that's what I use for my patterns and pattern designing. And I will look over this pattern again when I make another cow lovey, but I just wanted to have it up because I have in mind another animal that I want to do, and I want to make the face shape like I did for the cow snuggler plushie in the beginning, where it's more like flat and not as like indented. But I was so worried that I was gonna lose all my notes in my iPad because it was a mess the way I did it. I told you guys I got the plushie and lovey confused, so I have 3 separate docs with a bunch of just gibberish. Anyway, so I wanted to format it into a digital pattern for the time being so that I know I won't lose the information. And then I wanted to make a copy of the document that I have the other head shape in, so I can work off of that and edit it the way I need to while I'm crocheting. And these patterns are safe and uploaded into my Canva and whatever the case is. So that's what I have been doing so far today. I want to make one more pattern today. Oh, and I also wanted to update you guys. I also wanted to update you guys that I will not be making the pig pattern in this video, primarily because I don't have the pink that I want to use, and I could use that rose colored pink, but I wanted to use that for the accents and not the body color. So I did place a premiere order. I got 2 ballet pinks, 1 pale blue, 1 black, 2 white, and I think I got just the 1 skein of the color blue. So that should come soon. I had to pay $10 for shipping because I wasn't going to spend $75, which is the minimum. So I just paid the $10 shipping because it was either add another $40 to my order or pay $10 shipping. So I would have rather just paid the $10 shipping. Whatever. It is what it is. What are you going to do? And I don't have space for more yarn. So that is what I did. And when that yarn comes in, I will make my pig pattern. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Also, I want to make a pink cow and a blue cow. Like, pink and blue are the accent colors, not the main color. But you know what I'm saying. I want to do that. But anyways, I'm going to finish editing the cow plushie pattern. And then I'll move on to the other pattern that I have in mind. I was going to say I'm back with one last final update for today, for this week. But Peanut's butt was in the camera. Anyways, do you guys want to see the last pattern that I made? This is Zola the zebra. She's so cute. I did like a multicolored mane on her. I kind of like it. But my only thing is maybe I should have inverted the colors and had white in the middle and black on the side. I don't know, but I did white on the side because I wanted the ears to be more prominent. But yeah, that's what it looks like. And also, I only had to do the head once, you guys. That's crazy because it is different from the cow. I'll show you guys the cow in comparison. And also I only made the lovey version because I just, my head is killing me and I don't have the energy to make the plushie version right now, but this is what it looks like. It is different, so yeah. But how cute are they? I really like the name Zola. I don't know where I got that name from. I feel like I had to have heard it somewhere. She's adorable. I love her. And of course you can make the snout in black. I don't know, I just like the gray snout. I don't know why. I don't really have a reason for making the snout gray other than I didn't want it to be so dark in the front. And then I was also debating if I should get rid of the not slip stitches, the bobble stitches. They're mini bobbles. I was also debating if I should get rid of the bobble stitches, as how it would look without them. And I like this look also, but I just wasn't sure. So I just stuck them back in for the time being, but I think it looks good with the bobbles too. I just wasn't sure. But 6 patterns done this week, you guys. Thank you so much for staying along with me this week. I'm going to show you guys, what are you doing? A recap of everything. And the guppy pattern is on hold for the time being. We will fix that top fin, just not in this week's video. Not happening. Here are all the patterns from this week. We have the beginning of the cow, which didn't turn out so great. Then we have the new and improved cow. We have the cow lovey, the bear snuggler, the monkey snuggler, and the zebra snuggler. And we also have our little guppy that is still a work in progress. But here they are. I'm so happy to be coming out with some snuggler patterns. I hope you guys love them as much as I do. Welcome Cornelia, Theo, Maverick, and Zola into the family. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got answers to some of your pattern designing questions. If you have any more, leave them down below and let me know which pattern you're most excited about. I think Cornelia is my favorite, but let me know because they're all very cute and I'm very surprised with how much I was able to get done this week. I will see you guys next week. Next week we're going to be doing a market vlog. It's the tulip market vlog, so stay tuned. I will post that next week. And until then, ciao for now.